What is up, guys? Welcome back to episode 95 of Chillin with Dylan. Today's been a pretty good day. Just been working all day, but I did something. I accepted the job out in Colorado, and kind of started getting that all put together. I just booked the Greyhound ticket from where I'm gonna end up in Idaho on the road trip with Chandler, and then I'm gonna be heading out to Denver from there, and then hop on another bus to Steamboat Springs. I'm just full sending it, dude. I mean, I got the job, and now it's really the housing thing. I didn't realize that it was gonna be actually applying for a fucking apartment, and I don't really have much rental history. My credit score sucks. But you know, I'm just sending it, seeing where it goes. I mean, it is what it is. Whatever happens. But I'll never know what happens unless I try. So yeah, everything is in motion right now. Yeah, it's kind of fuck, dude. I'm kind of fucking nervous, but I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm just you know what? Whatever happens, I'm fine. I had this thought earlier while I was walking down the street, because basically, so I worked at my other job until 5, and then I had to work at the hostel at 7:30, and I wanted to go get some groceries, but I wanted to go to this grocery store that's a little bit more of a walk from the hostel, and basically, I was like, fuck, man, whatever, I guess I'll just go to the other one, because I'm on a time crunch, and just kind of let it go. And then, I was on the trolley, and I was on my phone, texting back the job out in Colorado, and I look up, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm at my stop, and the trolley started taking off again, and I was like, fuck. So I had to get off 2 stops later, and then hop on a different bus, but that bus ended up actually having a stop right in front of the grocery store I wanted to go to. And, you know, I couldn't have planned that would have happened, but it just all worked out. It all worked out in just some strange way that I could have never devised myself. And it was funny because at first it was oh, fuck, come on, man. You know, I was thinking I was going to be late for the hostel, or I never went that far on the trolley before, so I didn't know where the fuck it was going. But yeah, it was just it all worked out in some strange way, and I don't know, it put my mind at ease about things. And I've realized also, on my walk back from the grocery store, I was you know what, dude, I've always somehow everything's always worked out, even when you think it's the end, you know, you just think oh, fuck, I'm so fucked. But something just happens that you couldn't even expect. And, you know, it made me realize, I'm okay right now. And that's all that matters. That's all I must be concerned with, is just this moment right now. And, you know, there's only this present moment ever. And so if you're fine now, you're always fine. You know, that may sound crazy, may sound weird, whatever, but I've noticed that the only time I'm not fine is when I start thinking into the future or thinking about things that I did in the past. But if I just bring myself back to this present moment, it's like you have everything you need right now for this, right in front of you. Like, there is nothing missing, there's nothing going wrong. And if there is something going wrong, you just figure out how to deal with it in that moment. And so, why even worry about tomorrow when it's not even here yet? Like, you're just dealing with, like, shit that literally doesn't exist. There's no point in it. When you get there, you'll figure it out. And so, that kind of, like, put my mind at ease. That put my mind at ease quite a bit. Because, like, I don't know, it's just like when you come back to this moment, it's all simple. Like, I was so stressing about, like, all these forms I had to fill out for this thing, and I'm like, fuck, like, what if I blah 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 get denied, blah blah blah. And I'm like, you know what, that's for the future, dude. That's like, right now I'm doing everything that I can to do my part and make it work. And like, if you're doing that right now, like, you could do it in the next moment and the next moment and the next moment. Like, don't kid yourself, dude. Like, you've always figured it out, and that's why we're all here today. And yeah, I don't know, man. It was kind of like mind opening. Like, it made me realize, like, dude, just let go of this future and past shit and just be here now. And if you can figure it out right now, what to do right now, you're gonna be the same person in those future moments that you will be in, that you gotta figure out. But until that time comes, like, I feel like this is where problems come from, is when you put your focus outside of this present moment. Because if you're not fully here in it, doing what is right in front of you, you're not gonna be setting yourself up for those future moments. If you're sitting here worrying about the future so much, like, you're just not doing anything about what's present and what's here right now, and you're not acting in this moment. And same goes for, like, the past. If you're stuck in the past, like, you're just reacting to life. You're reacting to something that already happened, that's done and over with. And so, you're not acting in this present moment either. You're just reacting to something outside of this moment. And outside of this moment, there's nothing. But, like, the past and the future really only exist right now, too. It's all one whole thing. And once you start thinking that the past and future are separate from this present moment, that's when you start, like, worrying about shit or getting depressed about stuff. And, like, I feel like I may have just, like, contradicted what I said. I don't know, but this is just a live thinking process. Like, I ain't no fucking guru or whatever. I'm just spitting what's on my mind. But the past and present, when you're thinking about them, like, where is that taking place? It's taking place here and now. And so if you're worrying about the future right now, you're creating a future that you'll be worried about, if that makes sense. Because you're bringing the future to this present moment, and you're being in it. And you're kind of setting the stage for when that future manifests itself into your reality. And like, when you bring the past to this present moment, like, that past moment is like, you're making it alive right now. And so if you keep contemplating on all this suffering you've done in the past, like really you're just bringing that to this present moment. And although physically it doesn't look like the past, you're just bringing that same shit to this present moment, which is also going out into your future. And so, if you're worrying about the past, you're just gonna make everything repeat. You're gonna be the same thing in this moment, and what you are in this moment is what you will be in the future. I don't know if that makes much sense, but it does to me. I don't care if it makes sense. I'm beyond that point of giving a fuck what anyone thinks anymore. I truly have realized that, I don't know, man. I don't need that validation. I don't need people to understand me. I don't need any of that shit. As long as I get what I'm saying, it's all that matters. And I hope that anybody watching this feels the same way. I hope that you're not wanting validation from people and wanting confirmation from anything but yourself. We are all our own master, our own guru, our own person to look up to and to ask these questions, because the path we're walking is our own. It's not somebody else's. And so somebody else can't answer your questions. Somebody else can't tell you what's right for you or what way of seeing the world is right, because we live in our own worlds, dude. Yeah, we're all here on this one rock doing whatever, and it all seems like one world, but really there's billions of worlds on this one. We all look at the same exact thing 100% differently. None of us have the same experience. There is no objective reality whatsoever. I guess in a way there is, because there's physical appearances and stuff, but really the appearances don't mean anything. It's the meaning that you place on those physical appearances. To some, say someone walking down the street might be like, oh my gosh, that guy is the most beautiful guy ever, and then the next person could be like, God, that guy's fucking ugly. But it doesn't really fucking matter what anyone else thinks. Because if you're always looking on the outside for your validation and for answers, everybody has a different opinion. Everybody has different answers. So it's you're just going to be tossed around and tossed around and tossed around by all of these differing opinions. One tells you that you're the greatest in the world, and one tells you that you're a sack of shit. There's no consistency, no reliability. And so the only place that you can really get true, unchanging validation is from within. Because you can say, I'm fucking awesome. And you don't have to change that opinion. You could just think that forever, and it could be consistent and reliable. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's something I've really learned recently is, I'm just done. I'm just done looking on the outside for anything. This world has nothing that I want. I'm at a point where it's the only things I really want come from within. Things of the spirit, and I'm finding that the more that I enrich myself in my spirit, the more that things just work out in my life on the outside, in the physical, whatever. But I look at the times where I was so desperately seeking something on the outside, seeking validation, seeking love, seeking riches, seeking whatever. And that's when I never had it. That's when I never had these things, because the things that we truly want aren't things at all. They're not physical things. Because physical things are temporal. They don't mean anything. They're just devoid of meaning, inherently. And so the real treasure behind everything is the meaning that we give to it, and what that inner voice and inner being is interpreting that thing as. That's where the true value of everything is within. It's within. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just, it's really interesting going on this, this journey for Colorado. It's really opening my eyes because it's just like, I don't care about, like, I just am trusting, dude. I'm trusting. Like, even if, like, it doesn't look like it works out, I know it is because of this thing on the bus earlier, dude, on the fucking trolley. Like, it seemed as though things weren't going my way, but I ended up being able to go to that grocery store I wanted to. I mean, you can't judge things by appearances. You know, if I was judging it by the appearances, I would have just been all pissed off, and maybe I wouldn't have even noticed that we were passing by that grocery store. You know, I would have been all up in my head like, oh man, what the fuck? Like, why am I on this bus now? Blah blah blah. But you know, I've realized, I've come to understand that like you're always exactly where you're supposed to be at the exact time you need to be there. And I can look at like mostly like through my traveling. In my past travels, like it's always been that way. It's always been like right when I'm starting to think that I'm fucked in this and that, I'm proved wrong. I'm proven that like no, I'm actually in the perfect place at the perfect time, and it all works out just fine. And you always make it where you're going. You know, no matter how many delays there are, you always make it where you're going if you want to go there. And not even just to a place, but you know, to a state of mind, to a way of life. You know, if you really truly do want to be, you know, more loving, more happy, all this, all that, like as long as you know that that's what you want, you are gonna get there. No matter how many times it seems like you get held up and held up and held up. You know, maybe these aren't holdups, but maybe it's just where you just need to learn more and grow more. You know? I like love, especially like in my life. You know, it seems like I've always been held up by it, but you know, I look back now and every time that there was something that I thought was love there, and then it turned out to be something entirely different. It really was pointing towards the fact that like the real love is within, dude. And so it was like, it seemed like there was all these delays, and man, what the fuck? Why am I getting so fucked over all the time? But truly, it was like I was being shown that, you know, it's within. I was being shown like I kept getting fucked over. Well, not fucked over, but like things just didn't work out because they weren't supposed to. You know, because in all those times I was seeking on the outside for this thing that can really only be found within. And you know, those weren't delays. It was like the depth of my own being trying to tell me something, trying to tell me like, hey dude, like if you keep looking for it on the outside, you're just gonna keep getting hurt. You're gonna keep hurting yourself and keep repeating this pattern. And so now I understand that, yeah, it was never a delay. It was never me being fucked over. I was never a victim in those circumstances, outside of being a victim to my own misunderstanding and lack of, you know, knowledge of spiritual things. But now it's like I'm looking within more, and that love is just there, and I don't need to go to anything for it, and I don't need to ask permission for it or be a certain way to have it. It's just there and it's mine. And you know, that has been so much more rewarding than this, you know, constantly trying to seek it on the outside and changing myself to get it from something. Because love isn't something that you get, it's something that you are. It's not something to search for, it's something to feel within and cultivate and share and give. It's not something to get, it's something to give. Because it's something that we all have already. It's not something that you need to have added to you. And I've learned that, like, we are all whole and complete already. And all these things that we think we need, it's just a crock of shit, dude. It's just a crock of shit. Like, that's like as crazy as like ripping someone's fucking hair out because I feel like I don't have my own or some shit, you know? I don't know. Or like fucking ripping out a kidney because I think I need it, but I have two of my own. I was made that way. We all were. I mean, maybe not everyone. Some people might only have one. But, you know, as long as you have yourself, you have everything you need. And everything else is just a bonus. Everything else is a result of the being that you are. You know, I think, like, once you start to realize that you are the love you've been seeking, you are the peace you've been seeking, you are the happiness that you've been seeking, that's when these things start to appear in your life. And it's not because it's not because, like, oh man, like everything just started working out. No, it's because life is reflecting who you are. It's like life is reacting to your identity and how you feel and what your vibration is. And so, you know, that's where the true focus should be, is within. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave that how it is right now. I feel like that was kind of all over the place, but I hope somebody gained something from this, and if not, whatever. I don't care. But yeah, until tomorrow, peace out. I love you. But more importantly, love yourself, dude. Bye.